Hello everyone, welcome to Eden and the Magic Box. Today on our show, you're going to have Martin. Martin is from London in the UK. So let's see what Martin has to say. Enjoy the interview.
All right, nice. How are you today? All right?
Hello Martin, I'm very well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm not doing too bad, mate.
Amazing. So tell me, how's your day going so far?
Day's going quite well. It's quite relaxed at the moment. I was working yesterday and it's my day off today, the rare luxury of a day off. So I'm just relaxing, was playing guitar, watching a bit of TV. So just taking it nice and easy.
Oh, thanks again for taking the time for the day off for the interview. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So tell me, what has been the highlight of your weekend so far?
The highlight of my weekends, well, I was working, so I work for a company called Majestic Wines, and we sell wines, beers, and spirits, things
Oh,
like
wow.
that. And another store, so I work in the Loughton store. I'm the manager there, and there is another store in Ruislip, which is about 20 miles away from my store. And the manager was off because he needed a day off. Basically, he was doing a lot of hours, so I covered there, and we have like these beer machines which are we're trying to sell basically, and I went to cover his store and I sold two of them. So yeah, that was kind of my highlight. Unfortunately it's work related, but
It's okay, Avi.
oh,
It's something that made you feel proud or good.
yeah, because it's not easy. You get one of those maybe like, I don't know, once a month, and
Oh,
I'm covering that store and I sold two in one day. So I put it on the group chat. There's like a manager's group chat.
uh-huh.
A few people giving those fire emojis and stuff. So yeah, I thought, yeah, that's quite good. Go to cover the store and sell two of those. So I was quite happy with
Do you think the other manager that you're covering, do you think he'll be okay?
that. He'll come back and he'll be like scratching his head, like, how's he done that? But luck of the draw sometimes when people come in, and you get talking and, you start to entertain a conversation that maybe they were leading towards, you can get lucky, but you got to have that positive kind of genuine attitude about yourself and just be honest, really. And yeah, away you
Amazing.
go.
Tell me where you're from, Martin.
Me, I was born in England. I was born in Manchester,
Hmm.
England.
And that's the place you live right now as well?
No, I live in London now. So I moved from Manchester when I was about three. My parents separated, and I came down here with my mum, my brother, and my sister, and have lived here ever since, really. So
Oh, what's the biggest joy of living in London, in your opinion?
the biggest joy of living in London, for me as a musician, it's having a lot of places to go and play your music. I could have been perhaps born, or life could have taken me in another direction where I wouldn't have been in London, maybe somewhere where, that sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe that environment where you can go and play music in pubs and clubs and stuff. Maybe if I was somewhere else in the world, I wouldn't have
Yeah,
that luxury. So I feel like that is a bit of a luxury, and it's, London is quite populated as well. So, it's kind of almost the hub where musicians can express themselves and share their creativity. So yeah, that's what I like about London.
yeah, I think London, it's a place to be for opportunities. You have the opportunity to connect with people daily. You can go, Monday to Monday, there's always a place where you can play your music, you can connect with others, you can make business, you can, networking, it's a place where it never stops. And living in London, you can tell. Just living here, you can feel the energy, the vibe of that, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you in London as well, or?
Yes, in London. Yeah, I live in
Nice.
London as well. Okay, Martin. So let's start the interview talking about your career as a musician. So tell me how everything started.
So when I was growing up, when I was about, I don't know, maybe 13, 14, my brother had started getting into guitar and listening to like rock music and things like that. Certain things like certain bands, I should say, like, Nirvana, Foo Fighters, things like that. And he was, listening to that quite a lot. And then he decided he wanted to play guitar, and he was really getting into that. And I sort of took up the baton as well when I saw that he was playing guitar. I was like, oh, I would like to play guitar as well, and make some really cool tunes if I could. So from there, I must have been 13 because on my 14th birthday, my brother bought me a guitar,
Wow.
and ever since then, I've just been playing. So it's something I really enjoy, and was, you know, the circumstances had come together where something had sort of led me in that direction, and you know, I'm really glad I did. It's a peaceful thing to do when you've got some time on your hands.
That's amazing. And you only play the guitar or you're singing as well?
Guitar and singer, so a singer-songwriter. So that's something, yeah, that I enjoy doing when I get some free time from work.
Okay, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
Mm,
Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through memories in life and share your point of views?
I'm ready for the adventure, absolutely.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box.
Thanks.
So I have here my best friend. Full of random fun questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just first to relax before the first question, okay?
Okay, lovely. Yeah, yeah.
Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay, cool, man.
Amazing. Right, first question is, what 3 things do you want to be remembered for?
Being honest, being someone that could be relied on, and being someone that, you know, was good to their fellow man and encouraged them. So I think those are quite core values of what, you know, we should all try and strive to. I know there are different things related to that, and different things that might be more important to other people, but I think as a core foundation of, you know, bettering us as a species and humanity, I think those are the core things that will make us a better society and individuals.
Saying that, what's the biggest joy of being Martin? What do you like the most about being you?
What do I like the most about being me? I think I like that in my mind, it's quite a peaceful place. I think, you know, it's not sort of, I say contaminated, but it doesn't have a lot like going on of like other things that I can't control. I've managed to find a bit of peace in my life. So, you know, when you would talk to me, I think I will always be in a relatively cool, calm, and understanding sort of way to give you either good advice or encouragement or what have you. So I think just having a bit of serenity in my mind, which is not always the case, I'm only human, but I think for the most part, it's fairly peaceful, you know, in relation to your question.
I see. Next question. Let's do it.
Okay.
Hey, Martin from London. Right. Next question is, what's your most embarrassing moment?
My most embarrassing moment. I guess it was, I mean, to me, for now I can laugh about it, but when I was younger, when I was probably about 12 years old in primary school, I was in the last year of primary school, and we all went on a trip to a place called Pendarren, which is in Wales.
Okay.
We did like activities and like pony trekking and, you know, what do they call it? Spelunking. I think it's like going through caves and stuff, like when, you know, there was like a letterbox and we all crawled through that. It wasn't too intense, obviously we were only young, but there was a part where I was with some of my friends and there was some girls there, and we'd all got out of the showers, and I, as a joke, banged on the girls' shower and ran. We all ran up the stairs, and as I ran to the top of the stairs, I was in a towel, and there was a girl at the top, and my towel fell down. That's instant karma for you right there. So, you know, when I got back to school and stuff, it was pretty embarrassing, you know, childhood traumas and stuff. But yeah, I can laugh about it now. But yeah, at the time I was embarrassed. But yeah, you know, you play with fire, you get burned, don't you?
For sure. Did you like school growing up?
I did. School was good. Yeah, I didn't have any major issues. I found it, yeah, for the most part, quite fun. You know, as you get into your later years, you realize that it kind of absorbs a lot of your time and stuff. So maybe I didn't enjoy it as much as I got older. But I appreciate the system and stuff, and that it is there to try and help you learn and better yourself. It's probably better being in school where there's some kind of structure, whether you believe in, being put through schools or not. I think it gives you at least some structure in your life, because if you don't have that, then you're not in any sort, or you're not on any path, and I think that's not good for an individual growing up. So yeah, I think I did choice.
Who was your favorite teacher at the time? Do you remember?
My favorite teacher, there was a geography teacher called Mr. O'Halloran, and he was really cool. He was like a genuine guy you could speak to and so forth, and he was really funny as well. So I'll probably digress from the question, but I remember in class I was with my friends. This was when I was in sixth form at the time, and there's only a few of us in class, and I was always the kind of the joker, like making like jokes here and there and stuff. And he told me like, "Oh, Martin, just be quiet or what have you." And I said to him, "Yeah, but sir, my jokes always come off." And he's like, "Martin, the only thing that comes off your jokes are the wheels." I was like, "Oh man, burned." But yeah, I really liked him because he was, you could have a laugh with him, and he was a good guide in that respect. So yeah, I would say him.
Next question, let's do it. Right, so before the next question, as you mentioned about, how being a musician in London, you have a lot of opportunities. But tell me, what do you like the most about it? What's something that being a musician that, brings the best of you? And also, what do you find most challenging about your career?
I think the best thing about being a musician is that you can go somewhere like an open mic and not know anyone, and you can play your songs, and then by the end of the night you're talking to individuals you have never met, you would never know, and it's because you've done music and you've gone out that you've actually got to meet these people. And the more people that you meet, the more likely you are to get a bit of understanding, or a piece of understanding that might make you understand your world a bit more. So I think it's about, for me, what I really enjoy, not just writing the songs and trying to find something that I really enjoy, and hopefully someone else will enjoy, but it's going out and playing, and then meeting new people, like-minded people as well. Some of them may not be musicians, but it's just generally meeting people. I think that's a really good thing that I get from music and doing the open mics. And in terms of the most challenging thing about being, I think there's two things. I think from previously when I was sort of growing up, I think the most challenging thing is actually getting some traction with the music, and getting a foothold, and finding you can work so hard on songs and writing songs, and you can put it out there and you'll get nothing, which I get it. That's part and parcel of anyone's journey in life, when they're trying something new. And I think at the start, and certainly through a lot of the career, it's quite difficult when you're putting your heart and soul into something and you're not getting some response back. But like I say, I totally get that. Anyone who can pick up a guitar these days and has a camera phone is potentially competition. But I think that kind of weeds out the good people, or at least ones who maybe should be where they should be. But that I've come to an understanding now where I think I'm, as I said before about playing in London, I'm lucky to be able to play. I could have been anywhere in the world with any difficulty. I think it's a luxury to be able to play guitar even at home as well as going out. So I'd say that the most challenging thing these days for me is actually completing a song. So I will start writing something and get halfway through and really like it, and maybe the next day or something, when I'm about to maybe run through the song and try and add different things, I'll write something else on the guitar accidentally, but that's actually really good, and then I get distracted. So I think discipline is probably the most difficult part about being a musician.
Do you think, as we know, London is a place where, I think in London attracts a lot of artists, because, is the place for opportunities. Do you think that it can be a bit difficult for everyone because it's a lot of artists? Do you think that can be a bit tricky as well because of that, or not? What do you think?
I think it's definitely trickier. The more you saturate something, the more difficult it is to, sort of stand out. But I mean, that, like I say, that's what maybe gives some people the fire to stand out, and that's what will, do the sort of separate the good from the bad.
Yeah.
Sense. I just, I feel these days that in terms of the music and everyone going to open mics and stuff, I don't think like it was maybe like in the 80s or 90s where you had A&R people who would actively go out and, find people who were playing. For me, I always see it now as practice for my art. And I feel like these days it's more internet based and so forth. So, if you have a good social media following and you're hot on that, then that is going to be your key to success. I think less and less it's about, going out and doing the open mics. But as long as you're going out and enjoying what you do, then to me, that is actually a sign of true success. It's not, you don't need validation of anything else. You don't need validation from, hundreds and thousands of followers or what have you. If you're happy in yourself and you're happy in your soul, I think that is a true measure of success and should always be.
And I agree with you. And I think as well, those open mics, events, I think as well, people, they love that because they can see a person in person, singing, playing their guitar or their instrument, and they go like, wow, that's something. I think people still not that prefer, but there are two ways. Some people they see this viral videos like artists, which is not wrong. I think it's just different, and can go viral as well. But at the same time as well, the open mics, is a place where people love to go there, not just for the night, but for the whole thing, like sit down, appreciate someone singing, get a drink or have friends. I think it's a social thing. And I think people, they appreciate that as well, still, for sure.
100% agree with you. Yeah.
Next question is, where do you see yourself living when you retire?
I always have a dream of moving to the countryside, having like a house, maybe kind of isolated, not too far away from, certain things, but maybe a drive away and having a dog. That to me is a bit of peace. Maybe, maybe have a partner. But for me, like when I think about it, certainly at this point in my life, I always think about just being somewhere secluded in the countryside with nature, with my guitar and a dog. And, play my guitar, have maybe a little studio where I can record my songs and put it out there. Because that's what I feel for me, that's what I should be doing. I'm not saying anything else will happen, but I feel that's what I should do with my life. I feel like that's my vocation. So to do that, have that peace around me, that one with nature, and have a dog where I could go walking. To me, that's perfect,
And which person in your life right now you feel more connected to or more connected with right now in your life? Which person?
At the moment, who am I most connected to? I'd have to say it's changed in the last few months. You're always close. I think for most people, for a lot of people, you're always close to your mum. I was recently living somewhere else in the last 3 months or so. I've always been close with my mum, but because I've had to move out of there, I've had to move back to my mum's for now for, a while, so I can, save up a deposit to buy or at least rent somewhere. Obviously not buy, but rent somewhere in London. So you'll need to have a month in advance plus, your month's rent and stuff. So it's tricky. So I'm trying to save money. So being back with mum, it's like rekindled. Like we were never apart. So, we're always on the phone and texting or whatever, but I feel like we've become a bit closer now that I'm older, and you can appreciate the hard work your mum puts in the older you get, and being here with her now is we've probably formed a stronger bond.
Oh, I think be around our moms, it's a safe place to be, for sure.
100%. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so your mom is watching this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send her a message. What would you say? She's watching.
Okay, I would say I love you, Mum, and thanks for always supporting me and helping me along whenever I needed advice, whatever that would be. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Sweet, very sweet. Next question. Let's do it. Like dancing, Martin? Do you like dancing?
Yeah. I don't mind it. I'm not as good as you, but I appreciate the art.
I thought you would say, yes, I like dance when I can hear the music.
Well, that definitely helps. Yeah.
Next question is, when have you been the most happy?
When was I the most happy? Um, I think I was the most happy when I was about maybe 2023, and I was at university at the time, and I was working at a place. It's, well, you know, Iceland's. It's a frozen food store.
Yeah.
I was just a sales assistant there, but I was still trying to figure out, you know, the world, who I was, and everything was a bit more exciting at that time. And at the time, I really enjoyed my job. I didn't have any of the stresses that comes with becoming an adult, and I just really, I think fondly of that. And I just see my, you know, I said to you before, like, I have peace in my mind, but then I had complete peace because I wasn't thinking about anything else. And I realized now, like, you know, when I was working, I'd do a little shift, and you know, I'd go home and I could just play my guitar and relax. There was no troubles, didn't have to worry about bills or anything. You know, mum was looking after me then. It was just a very easy life, very simple life, and you only appreciate it when it's gone, as they say, which I do now.
So, do you think happiness is a choice?
I think happiness is a choice, yeah, to a large degree. I think it's very easy to get your mindset into a place where it's difficult to reconfigure the wiring in there. You know, it's a repetition thing. I think happiness has to be sort of worked on, eked out. Where I think everyone in this life will have their ups and downs, and I think you only sort of find yourself when you're at your breaking point, or you know, when you're in a lot of doubt, because you know, when you come through the other side, then you realize who you are. You're not second guessing it. You appreciate who you've become, and I think yeah, I do feel happiness is a choice. I think circumstances can definitely help you to have
Yeah.
more opportunity to have happiness, but I think you have to work on happiness, and you have to appreciate that you've come through difficult times and become who you are because of those difficult times and doubts.
And that's how we appreciate as well the happiness, because you know, if you don't go through those storms, you know, you can not appreciate you know, life sometimes, because you need to go through that to understand how life is precious and beautiful, for sure.
100%. Yeah, I agree.
3 questions left. Let's do it.
All right, cool.
Okay, next question is, what can make you cry and what can make you really happy?
What can make me cry?
Do you cry easily?
No, not too easily. I would say, I don't know, like, you got your obvious things, which, you know, I think are pretty obvious without saying, you know, but I would say, like, on a more sort of simple level, you know, I am a bit of a sucker sometimes when I'm watching a film, and you know, there's like this emotional build up at the end, and there's, you know, sometimes I'll be like, I'll be a bit choked up. So I think
Yeah.
at certain times when you get absorbed into a film, or maybe a series or something, and you're so sort of entranced by it, when something happens to a character that you've sort of connected with or bonded with in a strange way, then that, to me, like, sometimes at the end of a film when it sort of crescendos, then I'm a bit like, oh, if it gets emotional, I'm a bit, oof. So yeah, I would say that. In terms of what makes me happy, again, it's, for me, it's writing a song when I'm playing guitar, and I find a riff that I'm thinking, oh, and then I'm working on it and it hits. That, to me, gives me like a little buzz in my stomach. And you know, if I wanted to sort of ante up on that, I would say it's when I go out and play it, and someone who I don't know has come up to me and said, oh, I really like your song. I think that's really, to me, that's amazing. I love that.
And what's your inspirations for you to write your songs?
My inspiration, I would say I want to write something that actually has some meaning and some depth. So, you know, I think in terms of who we are as human beings, I think we're all gonna. It doesn't matter when you were born. You know, whether you were born 100 years ago, recently, or sometime in the future. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. I think there's some core things or core themes as humans and individuals that we all go through. We're all gonna, you know, doubt ourselves. We're all gonna want to believe in ourselves. We're gonna want someone who believes in us. We're all gonna think about life. We're all gonna think about death.
Yeah.
We have these core themes that everyone on this planet is going to think about at some times. And I think for me, I want to write something that has some meaning, some relation to that, but also something that encourages you. So when you listen to the songs, maybe subconsciously things are going into the mind of the listener of maybe some positive elements of life. And I think if you can write a song that gives someone a lift and a buzz, I think that to me is something really important, you know. And again, like with regards to music, it doesn't matter what job you are in either. Like I think with music, you can touch every single individual, and I think music is really important to get to the heart of that. So I think writing something that gives someone positivity, gives them hope, and gives them, I don't know, a sense of well-being. I think that to me is something that I would really that I focus on, you know. So all of that together, really.
Amazing. 2 questions left.
Okay, here we go.
Right. Next question is, what's your funniest memory of a date that you had?
Funniest memory of a date. Okay. Goodness.
It doesn't need to be funniest, but one of the most memorable for any reason, a good or a bad reason, or a funny reason.
Good, bad, or funny reason. That is a good question. What is something that stands out? I think one of my more memorable ones, I was working somewhere and there was an individual there. I'll try and maybe not repeat their names, but
Of course.
we were working together and we started to get close, and we decided to go out on a date together, and we ended up going to the O2, and it was, I just remember it being such a really fun time, and we were really on the level, and you know, we hadn't kissed or anything like that, and by the end of the night we were kissing, and you know, I just think quite fondly of that memory, and quite fondly of her as well.
Oh, sweet. When you are, you know, in the date scene, dating, you know, ladies, what's something about them that gets your attention?
Intelligence, I would say. I think someone who can test you, can guide you to some respects. I mean, or give you input into your life, basically, that makes you a better individual. You know, encourages you, gives you advice that maybe other people wouldn't be too comfortable saying to you. So I think someone who tests you, gives you encouragement and advice that will, you know, lead you in a better path, or to be a better individual, and just someone who is loyal, you know. Yeah. So all of those together, I would say.
I see. Okay. Last question. Ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Last one.
Okay.
Okay, before the last question, tell me, you know, who has been the most influential people in the music industry for you? Tell me 3 names.
3 names: Kurt Cobain, Dave Grohl, and Billy Corgan. So one of them is the lead singer of Nirvana, one is lead singer of Foo Fighters, and the other is the lead singer of the Smashing Pumpkins.
Wow. Okay, so let's see, one day you're gonna wake up in the morning with 3 missed calls from those 3 you just mentioned right now.
Yeah.
Which one you call back straight away? Which one you send a message? I'll call you back later. And the third one, you don't call back, you don't send a message, just go like, okay, I can talk to him another time. Tell me.
Okay, they're obviously all alive, aren't they?
And by the way, yes, and they are watching this interview as well.
Okay, right. I think I would call Kurt Cobain back immediately and have a talk with him. I think I would. Oh, it's a tough one. I think I would text Dave Grohl, and I think I would tell Billy Corgan I will call him later.
Tough one, yes.
What's that?
I said tough question.
Tough question it was, yeah. Hopefully they're not watching, or Kurt.
That's fine. All right. Last question is, what do you like the most about your best friends?
What do I like the most about my best friends? I think just being silly, being able to be silly around you, and you know, they know that I'm not going to judge them, and they can, you know, give me those, you know, honest opinions and tell me what maybe I don't, what other people wouldn't be comfortable telling me, but to set you straight, just have fun with, and being able just to be silly and be themselves. I think that's important.
See. Okay, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Be thinking. Okay.
Okay.
You can have a sip of your water to get ready.
Thanks. Feel the pressure.
Right. Let's start with money.
Money. I guess I want to say like not important, but I guess it is important to some extent. I mean, is it a one-word answer?
One word, yes. What comes to your mind? Not right or wrong.
Bank.
Okay. Fear.
Horror, like movie.
Okay. It's okay. It can be 2 words. Doesn't need to be like exact just 1 word. Doesn't need.
Gotcha.
Family.
Love.
Religion.
Faith.
Life.
Death.
Love.
Lost.
Politics.
Annoying.
Sex.
Fun.
Friendship.
Important.
Desire.
Necessary.
Regrets.
Necessary.
Success.
Happiness.
Wish.
Hope.
1 word for happiness.
Being comfortable. One word for comfortable.
You can say the nice.
I would say happiness is being comfortable in your own skin, being comfortable with who you are, and being comfortable to go out in the world and be that individual.
No, I need to let you say the whole thing because I knew it was a nice one.
Thank you.
1 word for London.
Busy.
1 word for England.
Beautiful.
1 word for music.
Passion.
And the last one now, musician. 1 word.
I want to say relentless, because you have to be.
Amazing. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your mom for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her, define Martin in 1 positive and 1 negative word only. What should say?
Happy.
Okay.
Overthinker.
What's your star sign astrology?
I am apparently on the cusp, so I'm October 23rd, so I'm a Libra and a bit of Scorpio apparently. So
okay, I'm Scorpio. November.
Yeah.
If I would ask the same question to your best friends, would be the same answer as your mom?
I think for the most part, yeah. I would like to think they would say maybe, hopefully, intelligent. And for the negative, they would probably say, what's the word for works too much? Overworker.
Workaholic.
Workaholic. Thank you so much. That's perfect.
Let's play now, Martin, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, before you ask me the question, tell me what music has taught you so far.
What music has taught me?
Yeah.
Music has taught me that you can find happiness alone. You don't necessarily need individuals around you, though it can help. I think you can find yourself with music. I always say to my friends that, the guitar is something that never talks, but it always has the right answers. So, whatever way you're feeling, you pick up the guitar or any instrument and you can play what your soul feels. I think that is really healing.
Wow, beautiful. I like that. Actually, I love that. Okay, Martin, you can ask me a question now.
Okay, so I would say, what has been something that you have done in your life or experienced or have had said to you that you feel has shaped who you've become today?
Wow, what a great question. Wow, what a great question. My God, you're gonna make me go back to my childhood. Okay. Right. I think when you are a child, you just, when you live in a world, for example, with your parents, you just think that every family is the same. They're all the same. Yeah, as a child, you think that's a normal thing. Right. So growing up, my parents, they always been a work. They were always working, like literally. Like, I remember my sister always had our meals alone because my mom had prepared. She left for us to warm up, and because she was busy in work, my dad was busy as well. So for me, we never had this family thing. For example, I don't have a memory of sit down at a table with my parents and my sister to have a meal together. I don't have that.
Wow.
We never had that. And for me, what you don't have it, you don't miss it. Yeah. So for me, I never missed that because for me it wasn't, I didn't know otherwise. I didn't know other style. So for me it was a normal thing until I started to grow up, become a teenager, and I started going to my friend's house, and I remember like everyone sitting down, and I remember actually as well, for example, emotion. My parents, they never had this, showing emotions about feelings towards me, my sister. Again, I'm saying that, but again, I wouldn't change anything because I love the place where I am. So I'm just based on your question.
Yeah.
So I never had this affection thing growing up, I never had this connection. And when I started growing up and going to my parents, to my friends, I remember this, I'm talking to you, I can see this scene, a friend of mine, his dad literally hold his hands, and when he got to his place, they invite me for lunch there. And his dad literally sat him in his lap and gave a hug to him. I remember looking at him, I was like, oh my God, that's new for me. I never seen something like that before. So I was like, wow. So back to your question. So I think this situation growing up as a child. I know it sounds very sad, but it's not, because I had a very happy childhood. Yeah, I mean, I was free. I had friends. My parents, they let me be myself. That's something that they got very right, because I remember, like, they let me be my truly self. They never pushed me to do anything, even religion. I love going to the church, and they never said you need to go to the church. I just loved it going to the church because of the environment. But my parents, they never forced me to anything. So when I look back, I go like, wow, I love that, because they let me be my truly self. But, based on your question, I think something, not having that environment of being all together, discussing, about your day, or having a meal together. And I think, I know it sounds strange, but I'm very grateful for that, because nowadays it builds the person I am today. I feel like I can explode, my friends around me, when I love them so much, then express so much this love or this affection, because I didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for example, I would love to have a child one day. I think I would be so overprotective because
Yeah.
I would give like my God, I would give the everything, that I didn't have. So
Mm-hmm.
based on your question, I think is that, because, and I love that. I wouldn't change anything, Martin. Like nothing, because I'm so happy the place where I am. I'm so happy with the person I became. I have so much to learn still, but when you feel happy because, based on your in your life, challenges and memories. So I think I'm very happy for that being presented to me, because maybe if I had a different style, like, sitting how having together a meal or everything, I don't know if I'll be happy the person I am right now. So, I'm grateful for that, and I think that builds the person I am today. Not just, I think that's just something that came to my mind, but I could share
Mm-hmm.
other situations as well that all of us go through and build the person we are today. But yeah, I'm thankful for that. When you asked the question, I went back straight away in that family environment, because it's something that was very different compared with the normal or more usual family environments that people have. And I think it's very important to have that. I had an interview here with a lovely man from Israel, and he said, William, when my children, they came back home for a meal after the day when they finish school, we have a rule. We spend 5 minutes. I have goosebumps now saying that. We spend 5 minutes saying what was the best part of your day and what was the most challenging part, something that made you feel sad. When he said that, I was like, oh my God, that's such a beautiful and
Yeah.
very clever idea to have, because you get connected with your family, your kids. I love that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, if I would have a family, like a kids one, I would love to have that. Like, let's talk about your day, something good, 5 minutes, something good and bad. Can you imagine how amazing this idea is? And I loved it.
Yeah, I
So
can.
it makes a big difference because you feel more close to your parents, you feel more, I don't know, there's something about it. So yeah, that go back to Fox, your question again. So I think that's something that I'm very grateful for, that, having these family environments that I literally loved it. I love my parents. I think they did a good job. You know what I mean? I think they did the best they could, to raise me and my sister. And it wasn't easy at the time. They were very young as well. My mom is only 50. My mom just became 60 last year. So I had, I have very young parents. Yeah, they're very young. So I think when they were that age, they didn't know how to be parents at the time because they were so young. So when I look back now, I understand, and I don't, as I said, I wouldn't change anything because I love the person I am today, and because of that environment, I was safe. I was very safe. I just didn't have those, things that maybe most of the people they have in their household environment. But I wouldn't change anything because I'm very happy right now. So yeah, that's my answer for you.
Amazing. Amazing answer. Yeah,
It
absolutely.
was, it was a very long answer, but you just made me go.
That was beautiful. Yeah, yeah. It's really good.
Did you enjoy the interview, Martin?
I did. It was really fun. Yeah. It was really
Thanks again. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for being so kind and accepting the invitation. And good luck on your career. I hope that, you get, I think being London, as you said, is a good place to be, to explore your talent, your music, your passion. And it's a great place to be. So carry on. And one day I come to see your gig, okay?
I hope so, mate. I hope so. And I wish you the best of luck in all your endeavors. You have
Thanks.
a really warm personality, and I think you hold your interviews very well. So you keep cracking on, mate. I will be in the background fully supporting you through your journey.
Thank you. Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Yeah, I think there was a quote that I heard where it was always keep your face always towards the sunshine and the shadows will fall behind you. So, keep positive and, the negative will fall away, but you have to stay strong with that.
Oh, beautiful. I agree. Thanks again and enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy your day, okay?
Thank you, William. Enjoy yours, mate.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.